sausage sizzle is a really fun snack that you get out and about at a sports event, or in the case of New Zealand, pretty much every Mitre 10 store on a weekend. It comprises a slice of white bread, some barbecue onions, barbecue sausage with sauces of your choosing, and typically they're just tomato sauce and mustard sauce. So really simple, but actually really delicious, and it really hits the spot when you're a little bit hungry or you're out and about and you just need some food on the go. And the price typically ranges from $2 to $3, so it's quite cost effective and a good snack. So I loved learning how to run a sausage sizzle from behind the scenes this weekend. So many clever hacks that people use to keep the bread not drying out, to stop it from going soggy, what to do on a really hot day. We had a really sunny day. We had to keep the bread and the condiments and things out of the sun. Luckily, some committee members had brought lots of ice packs and chili bins. Just so many things that, if I was doing it from scratch, I wouldn't have thought of. And my favorite hack was how they organized the bread. So they pulled the bread out of the loaf packets and layered with serviettes, and then put it back into the loaf packets, secured it, made it airtight, and put it on ice inside a chili bin. And it was just so clever, just, a small time-saving hack of when you go to get out the bread, it's already got the serviette with it, and you just need to layer on the ingredients. So I really loved that one. So the postcard this month was inspired by the sausage sizzle. I spent the next day after the sausage sizzle on the iPad. That's my cracked iPad. I spent the whole day. It was so enjoyable. I was thinking of my time in Japan, where I love the shops that look so pretty with the noren bunting over them, the fabric bunting. So the postcard this month is a fusion of Japanese and Kiwi culture. This postcard was inspired by my very first sausage sizzle, which is one of the most classic fundraising traditions here in New Zealand. We held ours outside Mitre 10, which, if you're not from here, is a big home improvement store that gives community groups free use of their barbecue stand. It's such a generous tradition. We had 9 families involved, each taking on a role from the run sheet, and somehow it all came together beautifully. In the end, we sold 220 sausages and raised $670. That money is now shared amongst the 9 students going on the Japan trip, including my daughter. This week, I printed this thank you poster and took it into our local Mitre 10. I wanted to say thank you in person, not just by email. And the staff was so kind. One woman brought another colleague over to hear the story, and she said the poster was wonderful and that she'd share it with their head office. I've realised that fundraising and connection are a little bit like gardening. You plant small things, tend to them, and trust that they'll grow. If you're from overseas, you might not know what a sausage sizzle looks like. So I added a little Japanese twist, a noren hanging over the stand. To me, it represents 2 things coming together: a very Kiwi way of fundraising and the Japanese adventure that these students are working so hard for. And that's something I really love, how small traditions from different places in the world can sit side by side and make perfect sense together. That's why I make these postcards. They're tiny pieces of connection that travel much further than I ever could. Adding a new postcard to my coffee shop has become one of my favourite rituals each month. Even though the printed cards are still on their way from Australia, just a couple more days, I wanted to show you the process anyway. Recently, I sent one of my postcards to my niece in Devon, And she wrote back with this huge card covered in illustrations of the places she loves. She filled every bit of space, even writing sideways in the margins. There was hardly any room left for the stamp, though I'm glad there was because it was a King Charles stamp. It felt like a little moment in history arriving in my letterbox. She told me she hopes we'll keep sending thoughts back and forth by postcard now. And I really treasure that. It's on my fridge and I see it every day. That feeling, that tiny thread of connection between two people, is what I hope to share with you too. So if you would like one of these pieces of New Zealand, handwritten by me, it would mean a lot. I'm really looking forward to being able to send it out to people overseas. Wherever you are, do get one because it's such a cool souvenir to have of this classic Kiwi fundraising event that we have here. That's the only reason you'll ever see a sausage sizzle, is because the people behind the stall are raising money for a sporting event, an overseas trip for their children, a community, something that's needed like a playground. So it's filled with so much heart and it's just so quintessentially New Zealand. So if you would like one, click on the link in the description and I will write you a personalised message, put a beautiful New Zealand stamp on it and send it to you wherever you are in the world.